السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه. We begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To Him belongs all hamd, all praise, because He is worthy of praise. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is worthy of being loved. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's worthiness comes from His beautiful names and attributes. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us understand and know His names and attributes and see how He manifests them throughout this creation. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. And we remind one another to be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and know that the success of this life and the next life, happiness in this life and the next life is rooted in being conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because what more can we ask for than having a constant, persistent, strong, healthy relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Amma ba'd. My dear brothers and sisters, people of faith, sallu ala rasulillah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam teaches us that whoever does salah for him, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards that person by giving him 10 of those salawat for him or herself. It is so virtuous, and we ask ourselves, why is this so important? Why is the salah a fundamental dhikr that we have to say it in every Friday prayer? That it is an obligation that whenever we hear the Prophet ﷺ's name in a gathering, at least one time we must say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Why is it? Because the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, that we sent you as a mercy to all things, to the entire universe. And we as Muslims know why He is a source of mercy. No one can study his life. No one can fairly study his life without bias except praise Him. They can never find a true, a real way to criticize anything that he has done, or to criticize a characteristic in Him, because He is Rasulullah. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammad. And we as Muslims, we love this verse, and we focus on it, and we start saying, be merciful to all of mankind. Be merciful to the plants and to the animals and to friend and foe. And that is part of Islam. But we tend to forget about another type of mercy which the Prophet ﷺ came with. And if you look at these verses and continue at the end of Surah Al-Anbiya, chapter 22, the concluding verses, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, it follows up with what? قُلْ إِنَّمَا يُوحَى إِلَيَّ أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهُ أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهُ وَاحِدٌ فَهَلْ أَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. After saying He is sent as a mercy to all of mankind, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, tell them I was sent with La ilaha illallah, to let us know that the ultimate form of mercy is monotheism. That there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the ultimate form of mercy, and from there comes all good. And from disbelieving in it is the root of all evil. We as Muslims believe that theologically. And therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, mercy is beyond the physical. It's also the theological. Rather, it is a source, is a theology. To believe that there's nothing worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is the ultimate form of mercy. Why? Because when you believe in La ilaha illallah, your heart becomes connected to who? To Allah, the most merciful, the source of mercy. That if the Prophet ﷺ had any ounce of mercy, he tells him, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. Because of mercy which Allah placed in your heart, He is the source of mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore, Ya Rasulullah, if you are merciful towards any of the believers, know that that mercy is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first and foremost. So when Allah says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, He is saying that I am the one who sent Him, therefore He is the most merciful and all of mankind. And therefore, my brothers and sisters, 3 points today of how theology is mercy to us and all people, and how we need to focus on that. Number 1 is Tawheed, worshipping Allah alone, La ilaha illallah, making sure the heart is connected only to Allah, only submitting to Allah, only thinks about Allah. And that is a hard place to reach. For the heart to be completely consumed by the love of Allah and complete submission is something that takes a lifetime. And only the Prophets fully succeeded. إِذْ قَالَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ أَسْلِمْ. Allah says to Ibrahim, when He told him, remember, when I told him, submit to me, Ibrahim said, قَالَ أَسْلَمْتُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. He said, I submit to the Lord of the world. He didn't say, well, I need to think about it first. He didn't say, well, it doesn't exactly fit in our times. He didn't start questioning why this and that, what does this mean? He said, I submit to Allah, because he knew who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was. The mercy of La ilaha illallah filled his heart, so he realized, I don't need to question. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always does what's best for us. Always does what's merciful for us. Always does what's compassionate to us. Always does what's gracious towards us. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a mercy to learn about Allah. So have mercy on yourselves, my dear brothers and sisters, and learn about Allah. Don't neglect your heart, its nutrition. Don't neglect your heart, its happiness. أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. Indeed, by the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Don't neglect your heart that. Learn about Allah. What more beautiful is there than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What more beauty do you want than this terrain that we live in? The beautiful mountains, and now they are green after the abundance of rain. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. What more do you want than the ocean in its massive space? What more do you want than the sun that comes up every day and sets at every night? Or the moon that has its cycle, and mashallah, we saw the eclipse, and how fascinating that is. And although we know the science behind it, hearing it is not like looking at it. Hearing it, oh, it's just a series of things that happen. Well, when you see it, what do you say? You say, subhanallah. Because you know the one who did that is an amazing God, subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear brothers and sisters, have mercy on your kids and teach them who Allah is. Instill in their hearts love of Allah. That is mercy for them. What better can you provide your children to let them know that they have a God who calls them every single night? And the last third of the night, He calls out, "O humans, who seeks forgiveness, so I forgive them? Who has guilt in their heart, I can remove it for them. Who made some mistakes, and I can erase it for them." What better can you provide them than that? What more can you provide them than letting them know that there is a God who constantly calls them day in, day out, saying, who needs me? Who has a request from me? Who has something they need so that I can give it to them? Subhanahu wa ta'ala. What more can you provide them, my dear brothers and sisters? What better can you provide them than to know that there's always a God watching over them, listening to them, knows how they feel? One who can heal their hearts, as Allah, one of His names, Al-Jabbar, the one who fixes. And no doubt He fixes the heart. And in our times, people need that. In our times of depression and suicide, we need that. So my dear brothers and sisters, have mercy on all of mankind by sharing this with them. What better can you provide them than to let them know that there's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala waiting to hear from them? That there's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ready to fix their problems. That there's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created them and honored them. So that these youth, they don't have to worry about looking good in order to fit in. They don't need to worry about having blonde hair and blue eyes in order to be accepted in society. Because Allah accepts them. They don't need to worry about the shape of their body in order to be accepted. Because they know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created them. And Allah created them with honor and dignity. So my dear brothers and sisters, have mercy on yourself and all of mankind by learning about Allah and sharing who He is with the rest of the people. Number 2, the afterlife. The next life. The thing that we don't think about enough. But the Quran always reminds us of it. And the world around us reminds us of it. And now that the grass is green, it has been revived. The earth here has been revived after its death to let us know that our cycle is the same. We are young. We come out as babies, infants, not able to do anything. And then we grow slowly and slowly until we reach our pinnacle. And then slowly we start going back and weakening to let us know when we look at the cycle of the ecosystem, how it rains and the grass comes out. And then the grass becomes very green and beautiful only to start turning brown again and die. That's how we are. That is our life. But we as Muslims, one of the greatest mercies is to know that there is a next life. That our existence doesn't cease with our death. That our efforts in this life are rewarded in the next life. That if we were ever to lose anything and be patient over that loss, we know that we will find the reward in the next life. That is mercy. It is mercy for the one who loses a child, loses a loved one, loses a parent, to know that they will be reunited with the one they love in the next life. That is mercy. To know that one day you will be reunited with your family and your friends, those who died on faith, and you will be with them for eternity. There is no illness, there is no loss, there is no separation. That is mercy. So my dear brothers and sisters, remind yourself, have mercy on yourself by continuously reminding yourself about the next life. Because it is beautiful. And for those who are blessed in this life with wealth and health, by remembering the next life, what you do is you look at what you have and you say, if this is what I have, And this is the pleasures that I get in this life. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have in the next life? What about those pleasures? And if someone is tested with poverty or with financial stress or with sickness or whatever it may be, they remember the next life and they know in the next life, none of that exists. And they know what I'm being patient over and my suffering and my struggling, but my patience will be rewarded. And therefore my struggle is not fruitless. It's not meaningless. There is a point to it. Have mercy on your children, my dear brothers and sisters, by reminding them that there's paradise waiting for them. That there is a place where it's constantly a picnic, constantly joy, constantly laughter, constantly freedom. Tell your kids about it. Have mercy on them. And have mercy on the greater society by letting them know that there is a next life. That there is accountability there. That there is happiness there. Let them know that in the next life there is a God waiting for them. Looking forward to meeting the one who believes in him or her, or in him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have mercy on yourselves and on this society and in this world by reminding people, reminding yourself of the next life. Number 3. Have mercy on yourself, and this is so important. By remembering there is a purpose to your existence. Do you want to hear something really interesting? A lot of youth who fall into drugs and addiction, do you know why they fall into drugs and addiction? It's not because of family issues. It's not because of hardship in life. It's because they're bored. It is because they are bored. And look it up. The research shows that a lot of youth, especially in wealthier areas, do drugs, do marijuana because they're bored. And psychologists mention this. They say the youth today, because life is so lavish, there's so much to do, right? All these video games and movies and amusement parks, their lives become just about pleasure. And when life is just about pleasure, it becomes a meaningless life. And these are atheists who say this, by the way. Life becomes meaningless. And with a meaningless life, it leads to suicidal behavior. Have mercy on yourselves, my dear brothers and sisters, by remembering you were created for a purpose. You were created to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You were created and put on this life to know Allah by looking at the universe around you. By looking at the universe around you and remembering the one who created this. The one who created the beauty that we see is more beautiful. The one who created the might that we see is more mighty. The one who created the mercy that we see is more merciful, etc., etc., etc. Have mercy on yourselves and on your children by reminding them that they are here for a purpose. It's not meaningless. Save your children, save society from hopelessness, depression. Save them from the struggles and the pain that they feel. Allah, it's sad how humans got to this state. Save them by telling them that there's a purpose, there's a reason why we were put here. It's not worthless. Because when they know that they have a purpose, when they know that there's a goal, there's a vision, there's a next life, there's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're able to start processing the world around them in a way that motivates them, not sucks them and drains them. When they go through a hardship, they remember that the one who decreed that hardship is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He is more merciful and more wise, and therefore there's a reason. And if there's a reason, there's a meaning behind it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most merciful, He's doing it for the best of my interest. And although it hurts, and although it's painful, and although it's inconvenient, I know that there's a greater wisdom behind it. And I know if I am patient, Allah will reward my patience. And Allah will get me through it. And once I get through it, I will find the fruits of my patience. I will understand why. I will say it was worth going through that. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Yusuf alayhi salam, such a beautiful verse, read his chapter. He says once Yusuf alayhi salam is finally released from prison, and before that he was kidnapped by his brothers. He was put in a well for death. He was taken and sold into slavery. And then he was falsely accused and put into prison. The moment he got out, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? نُصِيبُ بِرَحْمَتِنَا مَنْ نَشَاءُ وَلَا نُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Well, imagine the feeling of that moment. Not only is he out now, he comes out as second in the command in the entire region. in this powerful government, second in command, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the patience that you had, it didn't go away. It wasn't worthless. It wasn't meaningless. Yusuf alayhi salam did not know this was going to happen. He did not know, but he knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful, and therefore in his imprisonment is mercy whether we recognize it or not. But Allah tells us in the Quran, imagine the feeling, that beautiful feeling he must have felt once he was released. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala acknowledges it to let us know that any hardship that you are going through, there is mercy behind it, whether you see it or not. Because Allah does not decree anything except that there is mercy in it. نُصِيبُ بِرَحْمَتِنَا مَنْ نَشَاءُ وَلَا نُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And whenever you struggle, whenever you are patient for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, know that Allah does not lose a single ounce of your struggle. It is there as reward, and you will be rewarded for it. And look at the reward of Yusuf alayhi salam, from a slave, an imprisoned slave, to the second in command. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something even more beautiful. وَلَا أَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ أَكْبَرُ وَلَا أَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. If you like this reward, wait for what's coming in the next life. It's even greater. My dear brothers and sisters, have mercy on yourself. Have mercy on your children. Have mercy on greater society by remembering that Tawheed is an obligation. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there, share it. Remember that there is a next life. And remember that we have a purpose in this life. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Our religion is a religion of mercy, whether we see it or not. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the people of paradise. He describes them before entering paradise. He says these people, with this description, these are the ones who enter paradise. And He calls them وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ سُعِدُوا فَفِي الْجَنَّةِ. Those who are sa'id, su'ada in this life. What does that mean? It means those who are happy in this life, they are the ones who enter paradise. By default, the one who learns about Islam and expands their knowledge in Islam and applies it in their daily lives, they will find happiness. And I don't mean the happiness of modern times where it's just about desire and having fun. Happiness is a state of the heart that feels comfortable. That is true happiness. I am comfortable. I am content with who I am, with what my religion is. من رضي بالله ربا ذاق طعم الإيمان من رضي بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد نبيا ورسولا. The one who takes faith is the one who is pleased, content with Allah as their Lord, and with Islam as their religion, and with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as their messenger and prophet. So my dear brothers and sisters, have mercy on yourselves. Work towards happiness by learning about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by remembering the next life, and by remembering your purpose in this life. Just one quick note, a little bit off topic, but a little bit also on topic. Recently there was this advertisement. I don't think it got around a lot, but just in case you came across it, it was this new thing where they're going to have Jumu'ah prayer online, over live stream, right? And each person is in their home and they're praying. Let's be very clear and very honest, that is not a Jumu'ah prayer. One of the points of Jumu'ah prayer is to gather, to congregate. Exactly. To see your brothers and sisters, to check up on them. That's one of the points. And one of the reasons they said they were doing this is because we feel unwelcome in Masada and they don't accommodate us and they don't accept us, etc. Look, it is the goal, it should be the goal of every masjid to make sure it is a welcoming, inclusive masjid. But there are limits. We cannot say anything we want. This isn't our religion. It is Allah's religion. Therefore, we say what's in the Quran and what's in the Sunnah. And also, my dear brothers and sisters, not every masjid is perfect. I'm not referring to any incident or any masjid in particular. And some masjids, they need to do better work. But if you are in a neighborhood or a community where the masjid isn't that well, why do we go to the masjid? Is it to worship the imam or to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why do we go to the masjid? Is it not because the Prophet ﷺ said every step you take to the masjid raises your rank? Well, if the imam is there, okay, fine, he prays, and he's not the best imam, or the board is not the best board. Are you coming there for them, or are you coming there for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So don't be deceived by this whole, we're welcoming mosque, and yes, we should be welcoming. But if a mosque isn't welcoming, know that Allah is. And you are coming here to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just a few announcements. Make dua for Ahmed Shah Ulum. I forgot if this person was passed away. Yes, the person passed away. The uncle of a sister here, one of the communities, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive him and make him among the people of paradise. If he did any good deeds, to accept them from him and increase him. And if he had any shortcomings, to overlook them. Also make dua for brother Hisham Hassan, who passed away. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy on him and forgive him and to make him among the people of paradise. And make dua for sister Waji Khan, who is in the last stage of brain cancer. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make her passing, or whatever the proper medical term is, may Allah make it easy for her and her family. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the hard times expiation for them. OCIF's Friday Quran class is at 4:30 p.m. tonight. And my OC is at 6 p.m. OCIF, the Sahaba series Tuesday, inshallah. After Isha prayer, please do join us this week, or the upcoming week. It's going to be Al-Khawla bin Tha'laba, the one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala released the beginning verses of Surah Al-Mujadala. And it will be given by me, inshallah. So please do join us. That's Tuesday after Isha prayer. Isha is at 7 p.m. OCIF's Women Committee is holding a lecture on happiness on Saturday, February 23rd at 11 a.m. featuring Sister Nuha Ash-Shughayri. OCIF is offering a presentation on building your financial future on February 1st at 6 p.m. The Shura Council has put together an effort to raise funds to help TSA employees at LAX, SNA, and Ontario. We plan on going to the airports and distributing gift cards to the employees to show them support during this time because they are not getting paid. So if you would like to help out, you can go to Shura Council's website. Just Google Shura Council Southern California, or the Islamic Shura Council of Southern California. I'm sure they have a link over there. Access California Services Gala is on Saturday, February 9th at Hilton Anaheim. A new class for Al-Maghrib Institute titled His Majesty Unlocking the Names of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the weekend seminary, will be held next weekend at UCI. A free Friday night at IIOC in Anaheim is next Friday, and this will be January 25th at 6:30 p.m. CARE Winter Spring Internship applications are now open. Gain valuable hands-on skills in civil rights, policy and advocacy, youth organizing, immigration rights, nonprofit, etc. Apply on their website, ca.care.com, it's Google Care, by February 4th. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among the happy people of this life and the next life. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who appreciate La ilaha illallah and to learn about it and to increase our knowledge in it. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to connect our hearts to the next life. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remind us of our purpose in this life. Allahumma aghfir lil muslimin wal muslimat wal mu'minin wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka sami'un qareebun mujibud da'awat ya rabbil alamin. اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر وأقم الصلاة.